Yes, be ready for the dictation. Start. The trial court found that the land in dispute was being cultivated by the plaintiff along with his father Shri Krishna Sahai, and after the latter's death he had continued to cultivate the same stock. The defendant had also contended that she had been in cultivating possession of the land along with the plaintiff stock. But this was not established by any evidence. Stop. Hence, it was held by the court that the defendant was not in cultivating possession of the land. Stop. On a construction of the provisions of the Delhi Land Reforms Act 1954 and the provisions of Hindu Succession Act 1956, the trial court held that the rule of inheritance governing the parties was that which was to be found in the Hindu Succession Act, and hence the mutation in the joint names of the plaintiff and the defendant was upheld and the suit was dismissed. Stop. It may be mentioned that Section 33 was amended in 1959 by Section 12 of the Central Act 4 of 1959. Stop. There was no material change in the provisions as originally contained. Stop. As the question to be decided in this appeal is of general application, it is also necessary to refer to the subsequent amendment which was brought about by the Delhi Land Holdings (Ceilings) Act 1960. Stop. By Section 28 of that Act, Section 33 of the Delhi Land Reforms Act 1954 was substituted and the amended section had reference only to the minimum holding of a bhumidar, which was fixed at 8 standard acres. Stop. As regards the maximum holdings which were formerly fixed at 30 standard acres, provision was made in this new act that the normal would be 30 standard acres, but if a family exceeded 5 in number, there would be an additional 5 standard acres for each person in excess of 5. Stop. This was provided by Section 3 of the Delhi Land Holdings (Ceiling) Act, and thus after 1960 the provision fixing ceilings was no longer to be found in the Delhi Land Reforms Act 1954 but in the new act. Stop. As the law to be applied to the present case is the one A which existed in 1956 when the father of the plaintiff and defendant died, it is clear that at that time the Delhi Land Reforms Act was also a law fixing a ceiling on agricultural holdings. Stop. Reference has also been made to Section 42 of the Delhi Land Reforms Act 1954, which provides that if a transfer is made in contravention of the provisions of Section 33, that is, in contravention of the minimum or maximum, then the transferee is to be ejected on the shoot of the Gaon Sabha and the land is to become vacant land. Stop. Thus, there are clear restrictions to be found in the Act relating to both fragmentation of holdings as well as provisions regarding a ceiling on holdings, which after 1960 is to be found in the Central Act referred to already. Stop. Although it will be quite sufficient for the purpose of this appeal to find that the Act does prevent the fragmentation of holdings and did fix a ceiling on such holdings, it is also necessary to determine whether the Delhi Land Reforms Act is a law providing for the devolution of tenancy rights full stop over.